Good morning. Welcome to a new program, program 924. Oh, a lot of programs, 924. I never dreamed I would do 924 shows. When I started on program number 1 4 years ago, I didn't, yes I did. I said, maybe, Marta, we can reach program 1000. ¿Recuerdas? Yo creo. Well, we'll continue forever. Yes, to program 10,000. But today, program 924, let's concentrate on today, hoy. Notemos el hoy de la máxima calidad. Let's not worry about yesterday, agua pasada, and let's not worry about tomorrow. No nos preocupemos por el mañana ni por el ayer. Let's not worry about yesterday. It's water under the bridge. And let's not worry about the future, because it's impossible to know the future. Well, in my opinion, yes, it's possible to know the future. How? Yeah, it's easy to know the future. How? By imbuing today with the best quality possible. Imbuir el hoy, dotar el hoy. El hoy de la máxima calidad. Ya puedes predecir bastante un buen futuro. But focus on now, right now. Because the only real moment in the world is now. Tomorrow, who knows? I'm speaking to you now. So the only important thing is to focus on now and not to worry about tomorrow. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Tomorrow will be good if now is good. You understand? So try to make now as good as possible. All right, so, and today, class 924, grammar. I'm going to continue with grammar. There aren't as many flamenco dancers in Sweden as in Spain. But there isn't as much snow in Spain as in Sweden. There aren't as many baseball players in Spain as in the United States. But there aren't as many soccer players or paddle players in the United States as in Spain. Yes. There aren't as many lakes in Spain as in Canada. Canada is the #1 country in the world in lakes. Yes, Spain has only, I don't know. Spain has 3, as far as I know, habrá más, pero que yo sepa. As far as I know, there are 3 natural lakes in Spain. The Lago de Sanabria Lake, in the province of Zamora, and then the 2 lakes of Covadonga. I can't remember their names. Covadonga and Asturias. These are 2 natural lakes. Have you seen the lakes in Covadonga? No? Very pretty. But it's always foggy. The first time I went to Asturias was in 1975. And I went to Cangas de Onís, to Arriondas, to Cudillero, to, of course, to Oviedo and Gijón, to Llanes, to Ribadesella. And I went to Covadonga. And I went to Covadonga to see Covadonga and to go up in my car. I rented a 600, I was alone, I was by myself, and I rented a Seat 600. And I was going to drive up to the lakes. From Covadonga, it's about 10 kilometers going up to an area with a very high valley and the 2 lakes. Very beautiful. But I didn't see anything, nothing. It was incredible. I drove the car up. It was so foggy. The fog was so thick that I needed to roll down the window and look out and go very, very slowly. It took me about 30 minutes to drive 10 kilometers. And I reached the lakes. And I think I could see maybe 10 meters ahead. I could see nothing. And I saw other cars. I parked. And some people within 10 meters, because beyond 10 meters, más allá de 10 metros no se veía nada. Beyond 10 meters, it was impossible to see anything. And I asked, where are the lakes? And he says, in that direction. And I walked. And I saw the beginning of the water. I could see the water, but I could see nothing. It was white with fog. So I went back to my car and left. And I didn't see the lakes. 25 years later, I saw the lakes, finally. And I saw them at night. It was interesting. Well, when we started from Covadonga to go up, the sun was going down. And by the time we were there, it was dark. It was dark. But the moon, it was a very clear night. And the moon was full. It was a full moon. And it was shining on the water. It was very pretty. It was very, very pretty. All right, the lakes of Covadonga. I've never seen the Sanabria Lake, never. I've been to Puebla de Sanabria, but I've never seen the lake. Going to Orense or to Vigo and things. But in any case, so there, as far as I know, so there are fewer lakes in Spain than in Canada. There aren't as many lakes. There aren't as many lakes in Spain as in Canada. Canada has more. In fact, it's interesting. Canada is the second biggest country in the world in area. The biggest, of course, is Russia in extensión geográfica. Russia clearly is the biggest, and the second biggest is Canada. The third biggest is China, and the fourth is the United States. Okay, in area. However, if we count only the land and not water, Canada is number 4. Canada passes from number 2 to number 4 if we don't count superficie acuática, solo superficie terrestre. You see, only land and not water, because there's so many lakes in Canada that it makes it the 4th biggest country in land, touch, that you can walk on, all right, etc. So there aren't as many lakes in the United States as in Canada. There aren't as many lakes in Spain as in Canada, etc. But in Canada, there aren't as many guitaristas as in Spain. There aren't. For 2 reasons. Number 1, the guitar is popular, yes, but less popular in Canada than in Spain. And second, there are only 38 million people in Canada, and in Spain there are 47 million. So there aren't as many people in Canada as in Spain. There are fewer people in Canada than in Spain. Spain is bigger than Canada in population, but Spain is a lot smaller than Canada in area. Spain can fit in Canada probably 40 times, 40 veces España. You can fit Canada. So Canada's very big. But most of Canada is uninhabitable or difficult because it's so cold. It's so cold. 95% or 97% of the Canadian population lives along the American border with the United States because it's too cold farther north. It's very, very cold. And what's the biggest province in Canada? I don't know. I think Quebec or Quebec. In English decimos Quebec, no Quebec. I think Quebec's the biggest, but maybe Ontario. And what's the richest? Well, in natural resources, Alberta is the richest because it has a lot of oil. Yeah. And the 2 most important cities are Calgary and Edmonton, and they are focused on the oil business. Okay, so there isn't as much oil in Spain as in Canada. There's more oil in Canada than in Spain. There isn't as much oil, petróleo. No hay tanto petróleo en España. Es que casi no hay nada. There's hardly any oil in Spain. So there isn't as much as in Canada. There's a lot of oil in Canada. Yes. But there isn't as much olive oil. Aceite de oliva? No. There isn't as much olive oil in Canada as in Spain. Okay. I don't have as many children as Jimena, the author of this book. Yes, Jimena. Yeah. It says Jimena. Yes. Jimena Holiday, como día festivo, pero con L doble L. Jimena, es con X. Jimena Holiday. All right. She has 4 children, 4 girls. ¿Será posible 4 niñas? Dios mío. 4 girls. Well, you remember the picture the other day of my great-grandfather? Well, he had 5 daughters first before 2 sons. Girl, 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 boy, boy. And my grandfather was the first son. But my great-grandfather was 49 years old when my grandfather was born. O sea, ya a los 48 concibió mi. Yeah. Sí. Insistía. Said, I want a boy. All right. But Jimena has 4 children, 4 girls. So I don't have as many children as she does. She has more children than I do. And let's go to Jimena for the moment. Let's look at some expressions on page 73 in the middle. And the expression is to drive a hard bargain. To drive a hard bargain. Wow. Negociar con firmeza. Bueno, más que eso. To drive a hard bargain is negociar duro. Realmente, wow. Qué buen negocio. He drives a hard bargain. You drive a hard bargain. Okay. You want me to do another 1,000 classes? I mean, this course will reach class number 1,000. And you want me to do another 1,000? How much are you going to pay me, huh? The same as now. But, okay. You're going to raise her salary. Oh, te van a subir el sueldo. Si hacemos 1,000 más, ¿eh? No se lo cree. She doesn't believe you. Eh? She doesn't believe you. You promise. All right. But me, you're not going to raise my salary? No. Only hers. 1,000 more at my age? At my age? Are you crazy? Okay, you drive a hard bargain, but okay. To drive, como conducir, ¿eh? Aquí. You drive a hard bargain. Es que drive tiene otro significado. Bueno, otra aplicación o concepto. To drive, por ejemplo, un clavo. No entra bien. To drive it in. Yes. I remember you remember the 2 men? You remember the two men in the psychiatric hospital? Yeah. The 2 men in the psychiatric, and he was trying to put the nail, el clavo en la pared. It doesn't, no entra. Bum, bum, bum. So I don't understand. And the other man said, that nail is for the opposite wall. Right. So, to drive a hard bargain. To drive a hard bargain. All right, so, bargain. Escrito bargain. Bargain is una ganga, un chollo. It's a bargain. It's a bargain. Estos libros is a bargain, eh? It's a real bargain. Un chollo. Hay que hacerse con estos libros. It's a real bargain. Bargain. And to bargain is regatear. Yo quiero regatear con usted. I don't want to bargain with you. Yes. You have to bargain. I mean, if you go to Morocco or you go to Algeria, you go to any of these, or to Istanbul, to the market, they expect you to bargain. Personally, I don't like to bargain because I don't like to buy things. The problem with me, when I go to the flea market no es un mercado de pulgas, flea es pulga. Flea markets son los mercados de la calle, the flea markets. Especially in Morocco, in Tangier, Marrakesh, Casablanca, Rabat, Fez. They expect you to bargain. Fine. The problem is I'm not interested in buying, you see. I'm not interested, but there's expectation. You need to buy something. I never buy things. I'm a boring person as a consumer. I'm a boring consumer. Yeah. This shirt I bought 15 years ago. It's the same shirt. Todavía vale, I think. Yeah. So I just don't buy things. So I'm not a good bargainer. I don't like to bargain. All right. To drop a bombshell. A bomb es una bomba, ¿no? A bombshell. Shell is una concha de mar. Concha, shell. She sells seashells by the seashore. Shell. Shell has a second meaning. Es un obús o un proyectil. Proyectil de bomba, Proyectil de como bala o bomba. It's a shell. Nos están bombardeando, they're shelling us muchas veces. Shell. Now, to drop a bombshell is dejar caer una bomba. Boom. He decidido jubilarme del todo. No! I'm drop a bombshell. Yeah, I'm sorry for the bombshell. To drop a bombshell. All right. ¿Cómo puedes dejar caer una bomba de esa manera sin ningún tipo de advertencia? How can you just drop a bombshell like that without some kind of warning? Darling, I want a divorce. Oh, quiero un divorcio. I want a divorce. Oh, but, darling, we're both in love with each other. Why do you drop this bombshell? To drop a bombshell. It's a piece of notición. Boom. All right. That surprises everybody. Okay, page 74 at the top. At the top. To drop like flies. Casi igual que en español, caer como moscas. La nueva epidemia ha causado estragos. La gente ha estado cayendo como moscas. The new epidemic has caused havoc. Estragos, havoc. People have been dropping like flies. To drop, caer is to fall. To drop, what? I have dropped the pen. El bolígrafo no ha caído. No se ha caído o no ha caído. Yo lo he dejado caer. All right. Puede ser a propósito o accidental. I dropped the pen. I dropped the pen. But to drop also means caer. Una caída bursátil. Yesterday the stock market dropped 2%. Es más corriente decir fell del verbo to fall, pero se oye drop. Yeah, a drop. There's been a drop in the growth rate. Tasa de crecimiento ha caído, no crece. There's a drop. And to drop like flies is caer como moscas. People, usually, to drop like flies. Drop dead gorgeous. Wow. This is relatively new. This expression, drop dead gorgeous, this is very common, very common. But I think women use this expression more than men. It's interesting. Gorgeous, gorgeous, escrito. Gorgeous means precioso, bellísimo, hermosísimo, gorgeous, gorgeous. And it could be something physical. El Taj Mahal is gorgeous, gorgeous, yes. But normally, traditionally, it was used for women, ella. Es una preciosidad. She's gorgeous. Gorgeous. But starting about 20 or 30 years ago, girls started using it for boys. He's gorgeous. Él es precioso. Que normalmente se usaba para mujeres. Él es muy lindo, es muy bonito. he's gorgeous. Now drop dead, con guión, drop hyphen dead, is caer muerto. That means él o ella es tan preciosa, es tan bella que me quedo, me caigo muerto. She's drop dead gorgeous. Se usa como adjetivo. Drop dead. Se usa muchísimo esto. Drop dead gorgeous. All the time. Drop dead gorgeous. Drop dead gorgeous. Dice aquí. Guapísimo. O guapísima. Yes. Él tiene un amigo que es guapísimo. Y está soltero. Claro, yo diría es soltero. Well, both are correct, right? Pero es como más. Está soltero, a lo mejor le pillo y ya no está. All right. He's got a friend. He has a friend that's drop dead gorgeous and single. And single. He's drop dead gorgeous. I think this expression, drop dead gorgeous, girls use it more for boys or women for men. All right. Yes. Cuando están en la caza y captura, yeah, looking. All right. Además de ser una persona realmente encantadora, Maxine es guapísima. As well as or besides being, a genuinely lovely person, Maxine is drop dead gorgeous. Drop dead gorgeous. How much time, Marta? Okay, a few minutes. Well, we'll come back to this. Drop dead gorgeous. Yes. All right, so we're on program number 924. And as usual, every once in a while, de vez en cuando, every so often, every now and then, occasionally and from time to time, I give a sermon, mi sermón, yeah, periódico. My periodic sermon is about learning English and about the effort you need to make and to remind you, because my Spanish friends always prioritize in this direction, and it's a mistake. You need to prioritize in this direction. You need to hear cantidades industriales de inglés. You need to hear it again and again and again. Listening comprehension is everything. You must make an effort. And don't go to movies or to TV series. Go to YouTube. YouTube. You have everything on YouTube. Everything. Yesterday, I saw for about 10 minutes a person talking about the planets. Then there was another person speaking in English about the Spanish for 20 minutes, describing the Spanish reconquest, the Christian reconquest of Spain from the Muslims, starting with Covadonga, starting with, ¿cómo se llamaba? I can't remember his name, and moving down for 20 minutes in English. And then I saw another who was talking about walking and the benefits of walking versus the benefits of running, and making comparison for 10 minutes talking about walking and running. And I saw another 10 minutes about Donald Trump and Joe Biden, political, talking about that. But you have a million opportunities on YouTube for your ear. And you can put on headphones and go to the gym and continue, boom, boom. And you don't need to listen if you don't want to. Just allow the noise of English to caress your ear. And after 1 year, entiendo mucho mejor. And when you understand better, you feel more confident. You relax when you understand. When you don't need to make an effort. ¿Cómo? Es que no le pillo. When you don't understand, you become tense. And you try to understand. You suffer anxiety. But when you understand well, you relax. And you start to speak better because you are psychologically positive. And you're relaxed because you're understanding. If you take a pill that gives you perfect understanding in English, your progress will be like this because you feel in control. You're not in control yet because you don't speak well, but you feel in control. It's a very positive feeling. And your spoken ability will improve dramatically if you improve your listening comprehension. So remember, hay que picar por aquí, no por acá. You have to work on your ear, and YouTube is the solution. See you tomorrow.